Recording. All right, everybody. Welcome to the third Sensitive Skin Magazine online beer virus reading. We're doing these every Thursday, I guess, until we stop doing them. We still have more people are filling up slots. We got a pretty full slate next week already, I think. But this is fun. It's a way to see each other and people. Some of you guys, it's nice. Get to meet each other. Maybe even Facebook friends. Get to put a face to the name. Josh, I don't think we've ever actually even met in real life before.
I don't think so either, buddy. Nice to make your acquaintance digitally.
Yeah, one of these days. One of these days it'll happen.
And especially because we're like, what, 8 miles away from each other?
I know, right? That's. So I've been living in the Bay Area for 13 years now, and one of my best friends from college lives in Noe Valley, and we still haven't managed to get together. so it goes. All right. Anyway, we got a great slate of readers tonight. We have Puma Perl. Maybe Vinnie Zangrillo, if he can get his kid to figure out how to use Zoom. Larissa Shmailo, Marc Olmsted, and Joshua Mohr. And it's kind of cool. People from all over the country. Larissa and Puma are in New York City. Marc is in Portland, and Josh is in San Francisco. And I am now in Novato, California. Which Marc, pointed out that the place that I was making fun of in my book, where nobody would ever want to live, which of course where I ended up living.
Oh, the irony.
Oh, the irony. I actually love it up here. It's really peaceful and quiet and big green hills and stuff. And yeah, it's actually like people here other than rich white people. It's kind of cool. So anyway, let's get started. Our first reader is a poet and writer, Puma Perl, 5 solo collections in print. The most recent is Birthdays Before and After from Beyond Baroque Books. And she's the producer, creator of Puma's Pandemonium, which brings spoken word together with rock and roll. And she performs regularly with her band, Puma Perl and Friends. She's received 3 New York Press Association awards in recognition of her journalism. And she lives and works on the Lower East Side. And take it away,
okay.
Puma.
All right, so I'm reading a few poems that I have written since this all began. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is actually the first one I wrote, like when I had just kind of gone into self-quarantining on March 16th. And it's called, Is It Distance or Is It Monday? The kitchen faucet slowly leaks, 1 droplet every 10 minutes. Sometimes I catch it in the act. In the morning, the chrome basin is wet and ugly, as neglected as the broken shade, the yellowed walls. My purple checkered pillowcases pretend they are curtains. I pretend it's not loneliness, it's only Tuesday. I don't know how to hang shades or replace washers, and I pay rapt attention to the water. Will it turn into a deluge? Will the sun burn through the window? Will the faucet keep leaking? I don't worry about getting sick. I worry about the toilet flushing, the elevator running, the color of the dog's pee, the air conditioner in the closet, the planet shrinking, my world in my room, everything I own in a coffee cup. I worry about coffee, and I worry about the leaky faucet. It isn't loneliness, it's Wednesday. We're still on the grid. I sneaked up on the sink and it was dry, or just kidding. Pillowcases float in the breeze. I have some chicken left, and there's peanut butter and 1 green apple and frozen mangoes, and there are shelves filled with books, and there are friends on the phone, and there is always music. It's not anxiety, it's only Thursday. So far, just 12 Fridays to go before maybe we meet on a Saturday. And I'm not afraid, it's only Sunday. This next one is called Charlie's Time. I wake at 3:56 a.m. alone in the bunker. Sleeping has become napping. The minutes disappear like hours at the Spawn Ranch. On my calendar, a drag queen dances over the month of February. My date book is useless. Everything is canceled. I may not know the day, but I know it's 4:02 a.m. I surrender to wakefulness and try to photograph the empty highway, but it's too dark. I drink ginger tea and turn to social media for advice and companionship. But nobody's around, and I read a note somebody posted. Another friend has died. I go back to the window, the empty road, the river's blackness, and I remember the AIDS pandemic, attending wakes and funerals, sometimes 2 in one day. Today, there are no funerals. The dying no longer give us the gift of seeing their souls when all of the outside is stripped away and all that is left is themselves. I circle my Lower East Side bunker, 20 steps from the front door to the kitchen window with its makeshift curtains and broken shade, 30 steps to the bedroom where I once photographed the moon sitting on the Williamsburg Bridge, 37 steps back to the living room, past the dog's empty bed. She's not here either. I'm alone in the bunker and I don't know how to do this. I know only that now it's 4:17 a.m. and it means as much or as little as the clocks that stopped ticking on Charlie Manson's ranch. Trios. Jackson the Desert, the right is on 11th Street. 3,000 miles away is now the same distance as 20 New York blocks. We're an apocalyptic Jules and Jim, maintaining connections without the luxury of lapsing the way we often did in the past. Are you okay is how we start, and we move into poetry, sex, and whiskey, depending upon the participants. I know the writer since I'm 17 years old. He was a few years older, the tallest, toughest guy in the room. He scared the shit out of me, but the roles are now reversed. Jack and I met on MySpace. My random, deliberate Roger Rabbit reference propelled us into parallel universes, sometimes overlapping, sometimes crashing, sometimes silent. We've met a few times, far and few between, and have written hundreds of poems back and forth. Some of my best ones were inspired by this madman in his desert bunker, a place I'll never see. The writer's the kind of guy who still calls his place his pad and addresses women as baby and occasionally doll. He was my best friend's boyfriend, the first to leave our Brooklyn landscape for the village apartment he still occupies, walls yellowed from cigarette smoke despite the lung damage caused by post-9/11 air. Teaching English at Murray Bergstrom High School did not protect him from first responders' symptoms, although he'd be the first to admit he's never been a hero. I recognize the similarities in their sensibilities, and now they write back and forth as well. The writer says Jack is a good cat. They've made friends, unusual for both of them, but they've got writing and me in common, if not much else. I check on the writer. Jack checks on me. I check on him. Several times daily and sometimes at night. In the end, it's as easy to socially distance, whether you're 3,000 miles apart or 20 New York City blocks. And here's the last one. It's called Bunkers. I moved through the country from my bunker to yours. Nothing to do but get drunk, fuck, and write poems. We stumbled through the desert, half naked, clothing shredded, bodies torn and bleeding. Burn the boundaries, tear down the gates, trash the safe words. We talk in screams of pain and ecstasy, no difference anymore between the two. Fuck me hard and hit me harder, make me know I'm alive. Don't ask, just take what is left. Everything we want is here, and all that we need is more. We never know the time. The moon shines, the sun rises, the light fades. We live in desert darkness. The air turns cooler, the mountains melt, somewhere pavements crumble, and everything is perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for inviting me to do this, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Puma. Thanks for showing up. All right. Next, how about we go to
I'm just
Mark
shifting myself.
Olmsted in
Oy.
Portland. There he is. Marc Olmsted has appeared in City Lights Journal, New Directions in Prose and Poetry, New York Quarterly, The Outlaw Bible of American Poetry, and a variety of small presses. He is the author of 5 collections of poetry, including What Use Am I, a Hungry Ghost, which has an introduction by Allen Ginsberg. And Olmsted's 25-year relationship with Ginsberg is chronicled in his Beekdom Books memoir, Don't Hesitate, Knowing Allen Ginsberg, 1972 to 1997, Letters and Recollections, which is available on Amazon. And you are now unmuted. Wait.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, buddy. Everything I'm going to read, let me check the time here. All right, good. Everything I'm going to read is about the virus, except for this first poem, which has a weird prophetic element. A shout out to Maintenant, where Puma and I are frequently published, which is a 3 Rooms Press anthology. You guys should all be friends. Sensitive Skin, Maintenant, and also Dave Orozco's Big Hammer, which is also on Amazon. Puma's in that a lot with me. And so I want to say hi to everyone and make sure that we all connect, because I think this is what we need to do now as outriders. So anyway, this is coming up in the next Maintenant, and it's called Synth Shriek. America falling as old Bard prophesied, or action movie preview explosion orange. Ask the skin of the jack-o'-lantern president this Halloween-themed October. John Carpenter synth shriek warning, dam burst full of blood. America's pilot, Trump washing his tiny hands. Now we move into all Portland poems about the virus. Rudy. The mad drummer pounds for 10 minutes, drives off, comes back, drives off again in his manly truck with his metal shave-side ponytail. It's just not working out. Back and forth, no band practice, no wife, no work, the virus closing in. Sad ghoul of the TARP camp. I admit I don't want to see him at the door. Susie's adopted ghoul of the TARP camp, needing odd jobs. Tom says the homeless are the only street denizens in apocalypse San Francisco. I have become afraid, but I don't want to be unkind. Disease vectors aimed at the house, a drone strike of virus. Josh, our renter, out of work, we let him slide. He was already hacking, coughing in the converted garage. His mom left groceries at the door, scared like everyone else. They say, catch it on the flip side. They say, it's like 9/11. You won't recognize the new America. Okay. This is the last. I really didn't have a whole bunch. Slight fever in the time of the plague. It all slows down as snow falls early March in Portland, and a lone hooded walker is an Arctic explorer on the suburban street. It all shuts down and I'll go back to bed because the snow is a drowse on canceled flights, readings, retreats, and I have plenty of time. Quiet, white silence on the angry neighbor drummer's rehearsal plans. A clip from 30 Days of Night, Arctic vampire film sent to my old friend. I have lost my glasses somewhere, though I haven't left the house. And the drummer keeps his blinds pulled, which he does when he's alone, and a strange assortment of computer parts are sent to the wrong address, mine, to someone I don't know. The strange quiet of the bright sun with prayer flags fluttering. Slight fever in the time of the plague. The Satan bug, a favorite virus movie thriller of my youth. Do I have it? At least I know I'm not just tired. Social distancing, shelter in place, non-threatening poetry. The sky, a haze of Portland rain cloud whose dark innards will likely burn off. I watch this plague and think of the next. The alligator skin the infected burn bequeathed me on my Poe-like right hand near the wrist. Will we all become alligators? Will the next Red Death, the Satan bug, the Andromeda strain contagion zombie apocalypse? I'm sorry, with the next Red Death, the Satan bug, the Andromeda strain contagion zombie apocalypse? 2/3 planet wiped out in the degenerate age, the great llama told poet Anne Waldman. But right now, the girl kitten thinks the shrine room is heaven, and I must agree. This plague, a rehearsal, and we already blew our lines. Still, my wife is laughing in the charnel ground bedroom. We couldn't find the thermometer, so it was up to me. Finally, back in the drawer, she already checked, and there it was. I don't have a fever, but I'm not tip-top. A cold I picked up at the Denver airport, but not virus X. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. Not yet. Not yet. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mark. Boy, you sure name checked some of my favorite apocalyptic books and movies. From maybe I should.
Virus movies we know and love.
Alistair McLean. Maybe I should get that on Kindle or something. It can't be more than 99 cents. You know the guy who wrote The Satan Bug?
Satan Bug. Have you
dad
seen
had all those books. Yeah, I saw the movie. Movie's not as good as the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Does anyone remember Alistair McLean?
Sure.
Thrillers in the 60s.
Yeah, sure.
My dad had all those books.
Where Eagles Dare.
Where Eagles Dare.
Yeah, that's one of his.
And I of course have had a couple of times felt like, am I a little feverish? Do I have coronavirus? Mm-hmm. Who has here thought they had coronavirus at least once? Come on.
Yeah, panic attack.
I know a number of people who have it, and a friendly acquaintance of mine passed away from it the other day. So,
damn.
Yeah.
A few who passed away. My son and his girlfriend got through it. So, yeah, it's pretty close around here.
Yeah, I can imagine, Puma. You are in, I watch the news religiously.
They're not kidding about that epicenter shit. It really is.
Yeah.
That's why it's
fucking intense.
Nobody's out,
Yeah. All right. Well, on that cheery note, let's move on to our next reader, who is Larissa Shmailo. And her latest collection of poetry is Medusa's Country from Mad Hat Press. And most recent novel is Slybang from Spoiten Duyvel. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Spoiten Duyvel, which is the... Uh-oh. Now you see why I have to mute everybody. Okay.
What was that?
Yeah, let's mute everybody. Okay. Spoiten Duyvel was like at the very northern tip of Manhattan. There's there's Washington Heights. There's like this weird little, I don't know what you'd call it, like a very narrow passage of water between there and the northern part of of New York, starting there, and there was all sorts of shipwrecks. So this is called the Spitting Devil. So cool name. Anyway, she's edited the anthologies, 21st Century Russian Poetry, and From Pushkin to Pussy Riot, Russian Political Poetry in Prose. I would love to get a copy of that. Please see more at her website, larissashmailo.com. And let me set you up. I will unmute you.
Okay.
And the floor is yours.
Hello. Hello, everybody. So I would like to again invite you all Saturdays at 5 o'clock to our thing, Lit Balm. That's balm as in BALM, anodyne relief, literary relief, Lit Balm. We have a Facebook page where you can watch us live stream, or you can zoom in. The Zoom information is on our page, Lit Balm, 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 Lit Balm. This week we have the Poet Laureate of Louisiana and the lovely and talented Celeste Wu. Plus, we have an open mic, so please come in and join us. We're an interactive live stream reading series. We're highly interactive, and I hope to see you all there, so please come. And I will read a poem, and I am not reading Corona poems tonight. I'm tired of Corona poems. But I guess I am. I have 3 poems for you. This one is called He Called Me Fat. He called me fat, and I cringed, not at the insult as such, not much of one, but at the verbal dull, the paucity of adjective, the pervading mental lull, the flap of his limp and flaccid gums, the lack of hearty fun. Fat. Why fat, I cried. Surely round would move things up a pitch or two, and gargantuan would do, and corpulent construe the adipose goo at hand. Why fat, O fatuous man? Call me beefy, blimp, or bulging. Term me bovine, bull, or burly. Name me chunky, roly-poly, or inflated as your nog. Oh, linguini, limp and little, your linguistic torpor bores, ignores the 25,000 words that Joyce and Shakespeare forged, and do not hoard, but your words over all are snores. As I eat my s'mores, let's resume. I am thick-set, paunchy, heavy, as the synapses in you. I am wider than a canyon and the broad primordials too. Fat? Fat, you fraud? I am queen of unburnt calorie, the rarest elephantine, the mobiest of sentient beasts, the diet doctor's dream. My stockiness drives diet stock, my pudge the script of pills. I am larger than Niagara and the Roman 7 hills. Dormant, doormat, there are spas of verdant bliss for me, but no school for fools like you. You are but a speck of rotten lard, a granule of mere sand. I am high and vast and infinite, dimensionally great and grand. This next poem was inspired by work as a namer for advertising. I work as a terminologist. They actually pay people to name products for them. And you come up with names like Aviator for a car, or NyQuil for cough syrup. So this is a poem that is inspired by that particular profession of mine, and it's called Terms of Allegiance. My product needs you. Watch the silver surfaces, the waving waters. Wonder why the woman is humiliating the man. Hold that anxious thought. We have you now. Pledge unconscious allegiance to us. The words reverberate, aim, aptitude, authority. You are not sure you can measure up. Hold that feeling of self-doubt. We will bring authenticity, balance, direction, a compass for your life. Now, by boson, never mind what it means, it is a solution. We are anodyne, access to numbness in a world without doubt. We are the antidote. By allele, the sound alone is uplifting, lulling. By asana, our sharp, penetrating products are as beneficial as yoga. Watch, We offer you a bright shore, an ascendant future, a halcyon nights, a champion for your battles, a compass in the fog, clarity, concord, electric force. In your indecisive world, you are on the cusp of a decision. Leap. To buy is action, affirmation, connection. The diagram of your life is finally here. We are your doctrine and your domain, your emergent path to an elemental, firsthand and entire existence. We are your focus, your formula, your fulcrum. Our world is frightening and ridden with woes. You are daily subject to death by 1,000 cuts. We are your lightship, your sure haven, your journey's landing, your way through the matrix's maze, your locus, your hope. Stop. Your problems, which are legion, cannot be solved outside the mercantile world. We control the immaterial and will share its aura if you buy. Without us, you are a zygote, small and unformed, without viability, validity, or worth. We are the membrane through which you must pass. Listen, you have problems you have never dreamed of which we alone can resolve. By synergy, by thoughtfulness, by it all, and survive. Watch the silver surfaces, the waving water, the woman humiliating the man, and buy. And this poem I wrote in the 1990s, and this harsh poem's time has come. It's called The No-Net World, and I'll end with this. Deep in your heart, you always believed there was a barrier, a secret shield keeping you safe from the street. Secretly, you knew your good shoes and your warm lined gloves kept you apart and safe from the man with the cup in his hand, and the boy with his cardboard sign, and the woman with the bloated legs, and the girls with the begging eyes, from the weathered madwomen railing at God and the shadows at the ash can fires, from the need to ask, no choices left. Mister, can you please? What did you from the cushioned world of buffers, alternatives, other ways to turn, of loans from family friends, of credit cards and healthy children, of grocers who smiled because they knew how well you ate? What did you have in common with the concrete world of need? Secretly you knew, so surely you believed, you could never fall so low. Welcome to the no-net world. Then I got fired one day, lost my job and then my house. I got fired one day. Now your debts mount up like garbage and a layoff's coming soon, and you have to see a doctor and insurance just pays half. And your folks who lent you money just can't help you anymore, and the loans are coming due. Still, the force field is there in the lining of the gloves, in the good if now used shoes. You will never stand like that goddamn bum holding the door at the bank, too tired to whore or steal, saying, please, ma'am, please, ma'am, please. Then I got HIV. They found out I lost my job. I got HIV. You would never see hunger on the face of your child. When she came home from school, there would always be apples and rice and chicken and beans, milk and carrots and peas. Now there's 2 days left till payday and just one last can of corn, and she's home, laughing, hungry. Hi, I'm home, Mom. What's for lunch? Welcome to the no-net world. Are you hungry? Good. Ready, set, line up, let's go. You can get online on Monday for the lunch meal that's on Tuesday and the shelter lunch for Thursday, but you have to sign up Monday, but you stayed there just last Wednesday, so you can't come back till Friday, and the food stamps place is downtown, and the welfare place is uptown, and the Medicaid is west side, and the hospital is east side. No, I can't give you a token. No, I can't give you a token. No, I can't give you a token. Don't you know you'll only drink? Hell yes. Like a child praying to God, you believed in forever. You thought home and hearth were, not for everyone, of course, but surely for you. Only in the nightmares, rare, unremembered dreams, did you stand by the door of the bank, saying, yes, ma'am, God bless you, ma'am, please. Don't get sick. Don't let anyone you love get sick. Don't be mentally ill. Don't lose your job. Don't be without money for a second. Don't make any mistakes. Welcome to the no-net world. Thanks.
Remember that. But
All right. Thanks, Larissa. That was great.
he didn't feel any better about it.
Larissa, what was the name of the final poem?
Sorry about that.
It's called The No Net World. It's the title track of my CD, The No Net World.
Cool, thanks.
All right. So our next reader was supposed to be Vinnie Zangrillo, author of Dime Bag and a couple other novels, but Vinnie's not here, which is too bad because I'm sure, somehow I was sure that he and Puma would have known each other from the Lower East Side in the late 70s, early 80s. You guys had like the same hobbies. You know? Yeah. But our next reader, all right, I got to mute everybody because, you know, otherwise we get feedback. All right. And I will, where'd Josh go? All right, our next reader, I will spotlight him. Somebody I've been trying to get to sensitive skin readings for years on and off, but we could never coordinate. So I'm really happy to have him here tonight. That's Joshua Mohr from San Francisco. And he is the author of 5 novels, including Damascus, which the New York Times called Beat Poet Cool. He's also written Fight Song and Some Things That Meant the World to Me, one of O Magazine's top 10 reads of 2009, and a San Francisco Chronicle bestseller, as well as Termite Parade, an editor's choice in the New York Times. His novel, All This Life, won the Northern California Book Award and was one of my favorite novels from, what was it, 2016? 2016? Yeah, so,
That was a long time ago, buddy.
yeah. Well, you probably wrote it in like 2012, and who knows when it got published. Yeah, All This Life, look it up. It's a great, great book. He's written a memoir, Sirens. I mean, we all have so much in common here. And he's under contract with FSG for the 2nd installment. His next novel, Get Rich, will be published by FSG in winter 2021. And has already been optioned by Circle of Confusion Television Studios. And recently, AMC bought his noir show. I'd heard that. What is the title of your noir show?
I want to call it Amérique, but I don't think my overlords are going to let me call it that. So we'll fight about that later.
Okay. All right. Without further ado, here's Josh Mohr.
Hi, everybody. I published a memoir a couple years back called Sirens, and it's about this series of strokes I had in my 30s. I had 3 of them that were relatively serious. And with the 3rd one, they figured out that I was born missing a whole wall in the center of my heart. And they were going to go in and they were going to build a wall, which is pretty cool that they can even do that. So that's how the book ended. Spoiler alert, I had the surgery. I totally survived. Yay, yay, yay. But what the hell are you supposed to do if 2 years later you have another stroke and they didn't fix anything? So that's what this next memoir is about. And I've never read any of it in public before, so I'm very excited to share it with you today. I'll read about the dubious 4th stroke. I'm folding laundry and watching an old Cassavetes flick in the living room. It's about 2 in the afternoon and nature calls as I'm mismatching my Argyle socks on purpose. I haven't worn matching socks in probably 20 years, and I toss the latest horrible clashing pair of patterns in the pile, jump up to hit the head, and as I walk, shit, a pop in my head. The feeling vanishing from my right arm, numb. Utter dead weight, won't respond to any of my mind's commands, and it's impossible. This can't be happening again. I've been fixed. So I maybe pretend like it's not a stroke, though I know it is. I actually take a shower. Why? I don't know why. I stand there and breathe deeply, thinking that that might solve the problem. And my right arm doesn't work, and I'm talking slowly, but I am talking. I'm making sense. When I talk out loud, even though I'm alone, I say, calm down, hoping maybe this is some screaming panic attack and my arm's gonna be fine and this isn't a stroke. It can't possibly be a fucking stroke. Get out of the shower. Don't dry off. I can hear the Cassavetes flick in the other room. I follow the noise. Now I'm wet and naked and just standing in the living room. next to that pile of mismatched Argyle socks as I stagger around the house, still saying, calm down, dripping all over the place. I'm okay, I say, this'll pass. I shouldn't be having number 4 because I'm fixed. Someone tells you they've repaired your heart. Someone tells you that there's nothing to worry about right after the surgery, and not even 3 years later, here I am, wet and naked, a clot cooking my brain. I'm the only one home, and I'm not getting the feeling back in my arm. It's been about 10 minutes since it happened. I know I need to call it in. Know I have to admit it's happening again. There's no way to pretend, to escape, so stop being so cavalier. First, I call my wife at work, then 911. I'm in an ambulance a few minutes later, and we speed to the University of Washington. It's strange, 1 minute having 2 working arms, now only 1 working arm, and I didn't get to put the Argyle socks away, left those Casavetti characters chirping in my living room. I've tried to waste this life so many times, and now it's the only thing I want. Another CAT scan, another chest x-ray, off to the MRI suite, my head in their talking tube, trying to abide their instructions to keep perfectly still as they bombard my skull with their bonks and knocks and whirs. For 45 minutes, and I start to cry, convinced I'll miss most of Ava's life. I don't move my face in the tube, the tears just stream, the back screeching at me, 4 strokes, 4 strokes, 4 strokes. Between the Doppler tests, between the blood tests and the Dopplers, between visitors and naps, 2 days pass in the hospital. I still can't feel my right arm, it's gone. I'm a 1-armed man named Josh, that's just the way it is now. It's late, it's after midnight, I'm in my hospital room and I can't sleep and I'm out of water and I call the nurse and she's coming to help and I walk into the bathroom to take a leak before she gets there and I look in the mirror. I've never hated a face more, never been so disappointed or humiliated and ashamed to be myself, the man who can't stop killing himself, the brain that wants to turn into crap and scrambled eggs. I take my good arm and take a good swing at my face, boom, right in the nose. Now 1 more, bash, blood, a lot of it, gushing on my hospital gown. That's when the nurse walks in. She stands. We both do. Nose still bleeding. I'm okay, I say to her. I've been thinking about this scene from her perspective, what she must have seen as the blood forms a puddle on the front of my gown. I want to explain it to her, want her to understand why with my 1 good arm I had no choice but to smash my face. I'm down a limb. Look, I know we aren't promised anything. No, some of us never even make it from the womb, dead before our parents kiss our faces. But I also know something else, someone else, a 5-year-old girl named Ava. So long as I have 1 good arm left, I'll fight to stay here, to be with her. Nothing from the nurse at first, looking at me and the damage done, wondering if she should call psych, tie me up, shoot me loopy with drugs to keep me from further injury. But I want to explain it. No, I don't want to die. It's the opposite. I want to keep living, and I hate that this body doesn't seem to share that wish. This body wants to take me out, so it should be hit, so it should be punished until it wants to live as much as me. I got a nosebleed, I say to her, but she sees the blood on my knuckles. Maybe she's overtired. Maybe she's silently punching herself in the face for her life's own letdowns. Or maybe she just doesn't care. All I know is she turns and walks out, and I stare at my mug in the mirror, me the monster, me the man. How we find ways to be both prophets and predators. How we'll remain mysteries to ourselves. How there are no real answers coming. How a heart is fixed until it's not. How we are all unrepairables. These lives of ours, they don't make a lick of sense. If you told me a shooting star was just some disgruntled angel using a lighter to burn God, I'd believe that. It makes about as much sense as anything else in this withdrawing world. Thanks.
Bravo.
You guys are still muted. I can't. There you are.
There we are. Yeah, I was muted. I muted everybody else, and so I don't know what's going on. That's great. When's the book coming out? 2021?
It's supposed to be out next March, assuming that like is still something that happens.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And how are you feeling? Are you all right?
Oh, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Okay, good. So
I
look,
usually go like 18 months, everything's fine, and then the wheels fall off. That's what I like to do.
yeah, okay. Well, look, when this is all over, let's finally get together and have a coffee or something.
I'd love that.
Yeah. All right. So we'll figure around December 2022, something like that. Yeah.
Ever the optimist.
Yes. All right. Let's see. I'm going to just quickly. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, everybody. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. That was fun. I'll post this on YouTube in the next couple of days or whatever, and link it from Twitter, our Twitter page, and our Facebook page. And everybody here has been published at SensitiveSkinMagazine.com, so you can go and look them up by author name if you want to see more information about them. Read more of their stuff. Please do. And I'll see you guys next week. I hope. Some of you.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll be back.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Great readings,
Thank you,
everyone.
Bernard. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
everybody was great. You guys are
Nice
awesome.
meeting everyone. Goodbye, bud.
Goodbye. I'll talk to you all soon.
Talk to you. Bye.